Hello everyone, my name is M13. My first name is M, my middle name is 1, my last name is 3. And this is a Ninja 250R Kawasaki. And this video is how to feather the clutch. If you own a smaller motorcycle or a motorcycle with not a lot of horsepower, especially an inline, with an inline engine, something you should know how to do is feather the clutch. Feathering the clutch is, if you own a 600cc race bike too, you need to know. Actually, I take it back. If you own any race bike, inline race bike, you should know how to feather the clutch. Even with a liter bike, you need to feather the clutch, because a liter bike gets us power in the high RPMs, and you don't get to the high RPMs in slower inner city speeds. So what is feathering the clutch? Feathering the clutch is, okay, for this bike right now actually has a modified, ooh, sewage, yummy, has a modified exhaust pipe, see, Akaprovich, and this pipe is actually designed for a 600cc bike. This bike is, yeah, and it's put on this 250, let's skip Y, and so right now this bike is actually slower than a stock bike, because the exhaust is designed for a larger bike, so there's not enough pressure going through it for the bike to really have free flow exhaust. So what that means is, until you get to the higher RPMs, this bike is gutless. So what happens if I want to go fast right now? I'm obviously not in the higher RPMs. I'm down around 2,000, which is a little bit high for idle. But you don't have power till about 8,000 RPM, right? So what you do is you feather the clutch. Feathering the clutch means you give it while you're moving, you give it a bit of clutch just to bring the RPMs up higher, but you still have the clutch like half engaged, so you're still getting the power of the higher RPMs without actually being at the speed of the higher RPMs. So for example, I can just kind of start like that. I can bring the RPMs up to like over 8,000, then start to let the clutch out. See, so from a standstill, my RPMs were up over 10,000 because I brought the RPMs and then started to let the clutch out. But I didn't just fully let the clutch out, because the bike would flip. It would do a wheelie and flip. So you have to, feathering the clutch just means you kind of have the clutch half on, half off. And you can do it at any speeds. Like right now I'm in third gear or something. I'm at 5,000 RPM, so I want to pass this guy. So I pull in the clutch a little bit and then gun it and then let the clutch back out. That way I get the RPMs up into the power zone and then let the clutch back out, so that way you get a bit more speed. As opposed to just turning the gas and waiting for the RPMs to slowly climb. You pull in the clutch a little, then give it gas, and then let the clutch back out. And you can actually ride with it kind of like partially engaged or partially disengaged. Glass is half full, half empty kind of thing. That's feathering the clutch. This bike is, but you know, it works for two-stroke bikes. 2 strokes, like a, oh shit, cops are up there. Like on a 150cc 2-stroke, you'd have, I'm a little paranoid. On a 150 2-stroke, you'd have they have very little power in the lower RPM range, so you need to feather the clutch a lot. And 600cc bikes, man, like my CBR 600 or 1000cc bikes, again, you know, a 1000cc bike, the power doesn't kick in until around, you know, 6,000 RPM or something, and then 6,000 RPM, if you were doing normal acceleration, you don't get 6,000 RPM until you're doing over 60 miles an hour. So what happens if you want good power right off the line? Feather the clutch. I actually saw somebody on the forums or somewhere, or maybe it was underneath one of my videos, I forget, but they said that they were like racing with a car or something, and they did an M13 start. And there's a car racing with me right now, see it? This guy doesn't signal. Just then I feathered the clutch as well, because you hear the engine in 1 second, the engine's kind of struggling, and the next second it's screaming because I pull the clutch in as I give it the gas. I do that a lot for acceleration on all my bikes. Is it hard on the clutch? Oh, someone's phoning me. Wait a sec.